Back in 2006, Neil Patrick Harris was playing the biggest, proudest ladies' man on television. Barney Stinson was a massive hit. But behind the scenes, a ticking time bomb was about to go off. Ruthless gossip blogs were closing in, threatening to expose a secret that Hollywood thought would instantly destroy his career and kill a hit TV show. He didn't sit down with a magazine and carefully craft his narrative. A gossip blogger hunted him down. An unnamed publicist made it worse. And Harris had 48 hours to decide whether to let the story destroy him or get ahead of it. What he did next rewrote the rules of Hollywood. And what happened to his career after is not what anyone predicted. Before we get into the crazy 48-hour media storm that changed everything, you need to know what things were like back in the mid-2000s. Today, an actor coming out is a reason to celebrate. But back then, there was a scary, unspoken rule in Hollywood. The creator of the hit show Mad Men, Matthew Weiner, even gave it a name that same year. He called it a commercially devastating thing for a leading man to come out. The idea was simple. If people knew an actor was gay, women wouldn't see him as a heartthrob anymore. The magic would be gone, and his career as a leading man would be toast. Now, enter How I Met Your Mother. CBS launched this show in 2005 to shake up sitcoms, and Barney Stinson was the star of the show. He wasn't just a character, he was the ultimate straight ladies man. And the wildest part? He was never originally supposed to look or act like Neil Patrick Harris. Let me show you exactly how this character was originally written. The creators, Carter Bays and Craig Thomas, originally wanted Barney to be a John Belushi type. Think of a heavy, cigar-smoking, loud man's man. They wanted a big, clumsy guy to be the total opposite of the romantic lead, Ted Mosby. Fun fact, Jim Parsons, who later played Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory, actually auditioned for the role. He called it a weird experience because he totally didn't fit that heavy-set mold. But then Neil Patrick Harris walked into the audition room. Harris didn't care much, thinking it was just another LA audition where he'd hit traffic and probably get rejected. So he just let loose. During a scene about laser tag, Harris literally did a dive roll right into the producer's desk. That single moment of crazy energy changed TV history. The creators completely threw away the cigar-smoking guy idea. They rewrote the character just for Harris. Fit, athletic, obsessed with suits, and super into magic. They built the show's biggest star entirely around him. But here is where it gets messy. While Neil Patrick Harris was busy becoming a TV legend by playing a player, he was hiding a deeply serious, real-life romance. Let's talk about David Burka. In April 2004, a year before the show even started, Harris met a guy he described as a brooding, James Dean-type guy in a leather jacket. At the time, Harris was 30 and thought he'd be single forever. But after bumping into each other at an American Idol watch party where Harris was just stammering around nervously, they went on a date to see the movie Taking Lives. After that, they hung out every single night. They were deeply in love. But to the public, Harris was single. And this is where his personal life crashed right into his TV job. You see, How I Met Your Mother had a fun behind-the-scenes tradition. They loved giving small roles to the actors' real-life husbands and wives. Allison Hannigan's husband played Sandy Rivers. Kobe Smolder's husband played Gary Blauman. So naturally, the show cast David Burka. They gave him the role of Scooter, Lily's old high school boyfriend. It seemed like a fun inside joke. But here's the meta twist. In the show, Scooter's entire existence is based on being pathetically obsessed with Lily, while she constantly and brutally rejects him. Imagine the irony. Neil's real-life partner spent years being professionally friend-zoned on camera by his TV co-worker's wife. It was a harmless gig for a theater actor, but in late October 2006, that simple casting choice lit the match that almost burned down Harris's career. In late October 2006, a website called Canadacom published a report that blew up the quiet life Harris had built. They claimed Harris used his power on the CBS set to get a job for his longtime sweetheart, David Burka. Think about that. The internet didn't just guess. They clearly painted this as a secret favor inside a closeted gay relationship. The fans weren't the problem. The gossip blogs were. This report kicked off a wild 48-hour media storm. A blogger named Perez Hilton, who ran a mean gossip site called Defamer.com, jumped on it. Hilton called himself the queen of all media and was on a mission. He thought forcing celebrities out of the closet was a form of social activism. The media was hunting him. Now let me tell you what makes all of this even worse. When you're in trouble, you rely on your PR team to protect you. But Harris's PR team made a massive, legendary mistake. On November 1st, 2006, a report came out where an unnamed publicist for Harris denied the rumors. They went on the record and said Neil Patrick Harris was, and I quote, "not of that persuasion." Let that sink in for a second. Not of that persuasion. In 2006, that phrase didn't just sound defensive. It sounded like it was plucked straight from a 1950s detective novel. It was the peak of old Hollywood cringe, a desperate, dusty attempt to use Victorian-era language to hide a modern reality. By denying it and using such an out-of-touch phrase, the publicist made it look like Harris was deeply ashamed. It didn't calm the fire. It made the bloggers realize the old guard was terrified. Harris later called this a crazy time, where he realized he had to beat the media before they made up something even worse. He had 48 hours to save his career. The fear that coming out would ruin him was hanging over his head. Everyone thought that if he told the truth, people would hate Barney Stinson, the ratings would crash, and he would be ruined. But Neil Patrick Harris did something totally unheard of. He didn't say sorry. He didn't ask people to leave him alone. He took charge. On November 3rd, 2006, Harris fired the publicist who lied for him. He cut ties completely, showing he wanted to be totally honest. And then he sent an official statement right to People magazine's website. Here is exactly what he said. "The public eye has always been kind to me, and until recently I have been able to live a pretty normal life. Now it seems there is speculation and interest in my private life and relationships. I am happy to dispel any rumors or misconceptions and am quite proud to say that I am a very content gay man living my life to the fullest." Notice the exact words he used, content gay man. He picked the word content on purpose to completely crush any idea that he was ashamed or in a scandal. And you know what happened? That whole fear about his career ending, it completely crumbled. Between 2007 and 2010, Neil Patrick Harris didn't just survive, he crushed it. He got 4 Emmy nominations in a row for playing Barney Stinson. The audience didn't care at all. But here's a secret about how he actually pulled that off. Harris used a clever trick. He used magic. And I don't just mean he's good at card tricks. Harris is a former president of the board of directors of the Magic Castle in Hollywood. He is literal magic royalty. Because he had this massive professional authority in the magic world, he had the leverage to convince the writers to bake magic into Barney's DNA. By mixing his real-world charm as a literal master of illusion into the character's annoying bro behavior, the show built a bridge to the audience. When Barney did something awful, the audience saw it through the lens of a magician's performance. They forgave the bad stuff because they loved the craft of the actor behind it. Now let me show you what makes this even crazier, and it involves the guy he spent the most time with on screen, Josh Radnor, who played Ted Mosby. While the media was screaming about the scandal, the main cast didn't care at all. Why? Because Neil Patrick Harris and Josh Radnor had a history. Way back in 2004, before the TV show even started filming, Harris and Radnor starred in a play together called The Paris Letter. And they weren't just acting together, they played lovers. The play had passionate kissing and even a naked scene. So when they were cast as best friends on CBS, they already knew each other super well. Radner even joked later that he was surprised his TV best buddy was the guy he spent the last year kissing. And here is the legacy. How I Met Your Mother is still popular, people still watch it. But when they talk about Neil Patrick Harris, they don't talk about a scandal. They don't talk about a forced outing that ruined a show. They talk about the guy who beat the system. The industry experts of 2006 were dead wrong. They told him that a leading man coming out was commercially devastating. They insisted that the audience would look at Barney Stinson and see a lie. The fact that Neil Patrick Harris went on to host the Oscars, the Tonys, and the Emmys tells you everything you need to know. The fact that he became the face of the modern American family while still playing the world's most famous womanizer proves the old Hollywood rules were built on fear, not reality. But the fact that he is more successful today than he was when he was in the closet proves that the audience was always smarter than the executives. They didn't care who he loved. They only cared that he was legendary.